welcome back to Goals Galore. Welcome to episode number 5 of the Swansea City career mode here on FC25. Now, in today's episode, we are going to be playing through the month of November, including the games against Oxford, Watford, Burnley, Leeds, Derby, and we are going to be playing the Portsmouth game as well. Although on the game, it's some reason taking place in December, but in real life, it is in November. Here we are just purchasing our first youth scout at the save. Now I usually do this at the start of every save, but some reason this year, new layout, so I've taken a bit of time before actually doing it, but we've got round to it in the end, and we're going to be sending them to Spain, which of course 10 years ago the Swans had a lot of success in Spain with the likes of Michu, Pablo Hernandez coming from there, Angel Rangel, of course, Chico Flores as well. So a lot of success. And as always, guys, if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Be sure to put the notification bell on as well. You're notified every single time we upload the new video. We're aiming to get to 2K by Christmas Day. First game of the episode, then we go away to the Kassam to play Oxford United. In real life, this was a really, really tricky game. Oxford hadn't lost to Kassam all season before the Swans went there. And of course, we ended our goal drought when we got there as well, which was very promising. In this game on FC25, though, very, very different. Very tricky. Oxford didn't allow us much space and time, as you'll see throughout the highlight clips. And here they had their first chance of the game. I think it's a breath of fresh air seeing Oxford in the Championship this season. And not just in the Championship, but not being completely, down there and alone as everyone thought, not picking up many points. They've actually been picking up quite a few, and a solid side already, dare we say it. Here is where Oxford get their biggest chance of the game, and yeah, nothing Vigouroux could do there. He sort of just was rooted to the spot and couldn't really do anything, and beaten on his near post, which isn't great, and Oxford take the lead in this one. And as we say, well deserved, because they were tricky in the opening stages, but all over me. Nothing really I could do, but we tried to get back into it. Zampa Potnik, just really want to get him clicking in a Swansea shirt in this save. Didn't happen there. From corners, he's been a threat with Harry Darling. He is our highest scorer in this save so far, but we haven't scored many goals, so it wasn't too difficult this far to be the highest scorer for us. Going back to Oxford, though, I must say that last season in League One, it was very rewarding season for Oxford, having reached the playoffs on the final day, beating Peterborough over 2 legs in the semi-finals, then beating, of course, Bolton at Wembley in a convincing fashion as well. And after the season Bolton had, it was, incredible for them. Here in this game, of course, we had a few chances now, starting to put Oxford under pressure. Had a ball into the centre, and there was Vopotnik. Offside. And absolutely good, but that sort of did sum up the first match of this episode. We were able to create a little bit, not much, and yeah, we sort of rushed quite a lot of it. Defensively, we were able to stand firm to just concede the 1 goal throughout this game, although Oxford did have a few chances because we were committing more players forward. And what a tackle that was, by the way, to deny a second goal for Oxford in this game. But at the end then, we just didn't have enough going forward to really hurt Oxford. And in the end then, they end up getting a well-deserved victory. And Oxford fans, let me know your thoughts on how you guys are doing so far this season. And where you realistically think, in real life, you guys will finish come the end of the season. As we look forward, of course, to the replay, which I believe is on the final day of the season. Next up, though, on Bonfire Night, it's time to take on Watford. And now in real life, we made it back-to-back wins after the Oxford win, as we won this one 1-0. It should have probably been a few more goals in it, but we always take the 3 points if they're on offer, of course. Against Watford in this one, I want to quickly point out the fact that, the Oxford home kit has sort of changed in recent years, hasn't it? We're used to seeing the black and yellow split on the shirt, and now it's sort of just dominated by yellow, which is a bit of a shame. It's not really Watford when you look at the kit straight away, is it? from an outsider anyway. Let me know what you think of that in the comment section down below as always. But in this one, Watford have a few quality players so far this season. They've been impressive at home, but away from home, it's like they've been a different side, to be honest. They've not been as good, I think it's fair to say. But under Tom Cleverley, um, they could do really well this season, potentially. Opening scorers in this game was indeed Watford, and you can't complain when it's a goal like that. It struck so well, so well, and it deserved to end up in the top corner, for being honest. Nothing Vigouroux could do on that occasion to stop Watford opening the lead in this one. As we say, though, fireworks on Bonfire, and that certainly was a firework. Vigouroux called into action, though, on a few occasions during the game, but we were able to protect in front of him, a decent. As the game unfolded, then we were able to create a few chances. This being the big one from Liam Cullen on the left-hand side. Always brings something to the game. Pulled it back and shot straight into the gloves of Daniel Bachmann, of course. However, his clearance and a pull touch from the defender, Cullen, to chip Bachmann. I knew I went for the wrong option there. And if I went for any other option, I wish I'd have chipped it. However, Nelson Abbey, who was brought into the side for this one, wins the header initially. And Fulton, it's almost a recreation of the Watford opening goal as we level the scores here at the Swansea.com Stadium. What a strike from almost the same position of the box to the same position of the goal, to the same goal, the same end of the stadium. And Jay Fulton, he's not been in our plans so far this career mode. He's not been too heavy in the plans, should I say, but we might have to reconsider that. After that shot, what a goal, an early contender for goal of the season. Incredible. But Watford were right at the other end straight away, trying to get themselves back in front, but we would not let that happen, of course. Not on my watch anyway. But no, Jay Fulton, he's a great player at Swansea in the career mode who might have to look at maybe moving him on at some point, maybe for a little bit of money. While we can, but in real life, I absolutely love Jay Fulton, and in real life, he should not be going anywhere for a long time because he's been a great servant to this club. As the game progressed, then Ronaldo was able to find a bit of joy on the right hand side, still trying to figure out where we want him to play on a regular basis, but he cut it back here to Cullen, and a shot goes into the gloves of Bachmann, but he spills out for a corner, and into the box it goes. Darling, and the Swans take the lead. Harry Darling and the Swans turn it around from 1 goal down to 2-1 up in this one. And it's Harry Darling, our top scorer. Grimes the delivery. What a ball. And as we can see here, it's come off the back of Harry Darling's head. He doesn't need to look with his quality. Ivan Toney doing no-look penalties, or Harry Darling doing no-look headers. I know who my defender is. Harry Darling, what a player. We then had a bit of confidence about us to try and go forward and get a third and really see this game off, having had a bit of a tough episode last time out where results started to turn against us after a really positive first 2 episodes where we went undefeated. Last episode was the really tough one, and then this episode, I won't spoil it all, but yeah, not easy, shall we say. Watford kept on pressing, kept on having a few chances. At this point, I just wanted the ball away because I just wanted to taste victory again because it had been so long since we needed to. So I was putting in tackles everywhere. In the end, here, Timon was getting bucked from that one. But Watford still had a chance in the centre, and Vigouroux, big game player and big save there. But it wasn't over. Watford had one more chance. They had a corner. In it went to equalise it, and it's past the post to our delight. But the referee wants another one to be taken. And this time, to break Swansea fans' hearts, no. And there we go. The referee blows up for full time. The Swans are back to winning ways at home. And to our delight, 1-0 down. But a Jay Fulton screamer on Bonfire Night, a firework at the Swansea.com Stadium. And then, of course, a winner from Harry Darlin, a player who's proven to be so good both on the game and in real life, is able to, of course, bag us all 3 points and leave Watford actually bottom of the table. I do really like this report from The Athletic. Adds a lot of realism. Just making up a fake rumour about myself. But of course, social media these days in football is such a huge part of the game. Of course, Fabrizio Romano's had a huge impact on social media in the game. We've had so much going on with social media. The rumours that we're able to, you know, be put out there. I particularly like the team of the weeks. I think that's a fantastic addition to the game this year. I really wish they brought that in a little bit sooner, if I'm being completely honest, because I just feel it brings so much realism. We get it every week, and it's something to look forward to on the big social media platforms. But then it adds a bit of excitement to try and see if your players are in there. In this game, of course, as you can see going on in the background, played Burnley in real life. I don't want to talk about it because, yeah, it was frustrating how the referees spoilt the game. But in this career mode game, it was a chance to get a little bit of revenge on Burnley. Nothing against Burnley. A decent side though, and one that will be up there in real life in the Championship. And to be honest, in the opening stages of the game, we were having quite a bit of joy on the right hand side. And in the second half, Ronaldo on the left hand side was trying to cause a bit of problems. Use that pace against the Burnley defence, who is full of quality in there. Ronaldo able to try and weave his way through, finds a bit of space, and into the bottom corner as the Swans took the lead away at Turf Moor. Something that should have happened on the Sunday in real life when we played them. What a great little goal from Ronaldo. It reminds me as the goal against Gillingham he scored in the Carabao Cup in real life. A great bit of play, an individual quality from Ronaldo. He really has struggled so far this season in the career mode and a little bit in real life to really hit a bit of form like he did last season. How good he was, the confidence to take on players. We always knew it was in him, but didn't quite see it translate into this season as we put a really silly tackle in here in the background with Josh Tymon. And this time he sees red. So we're going to have to see this game out with 10 men. Well, try to at least. As Burnley, of course, will not make it easy for us. And they have a header from the resulting plate with a brilliant save matched by Lawrence Vigouroux. And here we just really want the ball. But in doing so, being so eager to win back possession, we leave gaps. And Zian Flegman, the man on loan from Millwall, which I find such a strange move. Why a championship club would loan to another championship club their best player. One of their best players for sure. I don't understand one bit, but he levels it up for Burnley to our frustration. But with 10 men, we made the changes. We brought on some fresh legs. We brought on the energy to try and somehow find a way to get more than a point, which I thought we deserved here. Here is Peter Harris to Giannelli. Just trying to move the ball around here. Josh Key getting involved as well. Looking for the gaps, being patient. Peter Harris, quick feet. Peter Harris into the box, and he's scored. Straight from kickoff. And the Swans, once again, look set to win 2-1. This time away at Turf Moor. And it's Miles Peter Harris, but the game wasn't over. Burnley had one last chance. But as the seconds ticked on, Giannelli knew where he had to put it, as far away from our goal as possible, and we get another huge 3-point share against Scott Parker's side. As we go across to celebrate with those travelling fans, another great victory. And that's 2 wins in 2 now, which doesn't make this episode look so bad so far. However, next up was Leeds United, who are going to be up there, both in the career mode and in real life, one of the strongest sides in this career mode. Haven't had a look at their ratings, but they will, certainly all be about mid-70s, I'd say, in the start 11 as well, which is crazy. After losing out on promotion to the Premier League via the Championship Playoff final last season, Could Leeds go one step further in this career mode this year and rectify things of being in the second tier and not being in the Premier League? Well, I'll tell you what, we give them a good run for their money in the opening stages. Ronaldo on the left-hand side causing problems for Jadon Bogle. But, of course, the quality of Leeds, it was always going to be hard to really make our stamp on the game and make it count is the important thing. As we can see the quality here of Aronson. Yeah, bit of skill, gets through into the box on the outside and beats Vigouroux at his near post, where I think he probably should be saving that one at his near post. Shouldn't get beaten at his near post anyway from that angle. And it's a poor goal to concede, but a lovely goal from Brenden Aaronson from his point of view. With the skill, the flick, and the powerful finish. But only 1-0, we still had confidence to go forward, and that's the main thing. We had character in this side, but once again, I go back to that problem of wanting January to come sooner rather than later, due to the fact that, I think we need 2 wingers, 1 striker probably, unless we recall one, and an attacking midfielder, and probably a goalkeeper if we were to let one go, and maybe a right back or a centre back, someone that can maybe do both of the jobs, and then we could look at sending a few of our young players out on loan. So it could be a busy January. However, we do need to raise a few funds because I don't want to sort of regress the side. I want to make improvements in terms of the signs that are going to make us better, both in the short term and long term, financially and ability wise. So once again, if anyone has any players they'd like us to sign within reason, of course, probably not going to spend more than I'd say 3.5 million on a player there at the moment anyway, until we get to the Premier League. So just keep them realistic as Vigouroux's able to claim that ball there. And once again, we were able to get forwards. Cullen into the arms of Melia, I believe it was. And yeah, Perrault scoring against us to make it 3-0 there. To Leeds United, I believe it was. Or even more, It ends 4-0 in the end, which is incredible for Leeds. Just like it did last season. And they were through once again here. And that time, they were able to make it 4. Yeah, just making it look too easy. Leeds, who are such a quality side. I don't know what they did here, but Vigouroux with a great save, of course, in the end. And as we try and go forward, the referee blows his whistle. I'm telling you, if he didn't blow that whistle, we were going to make the comeback of all comebacks happen, but that wasn't quite the case. Here on screen now are some of the players we're looking at. So Tyler Bindon of Reading has really stood out to me as a high potential player, young age, and someone I think can really grow into the sort of figure that Kyle Norton has become at Swansea, who someone that's going to stay at the club for a long time and be a solid player. But we couldn't agree a fee. I was trying to be too cheeky. Instead, we went in for a winger. Now, I've been looking at Goncalo Borges for a while of Porto. I think this would be a very ambitious move. Just trying to see whereabouts the valuation actually is of Porto. They went 2.8 with 20% selling clause, but I reckon we can strike a better deal than that. It's a player who I'd like to start on the left-hand side, have Ronaldo on the right, Eom in the centre, and then, of course, have the likes of Ollie Cooper and someone else on the bench for the attacking midfield options. I'm also looking at bringing in a right winger and putting Ronaldo onto the bench as well. More to be seen in the future. Potentially this episode, can't quite remember now with the time of editing. I have played a little bit ahead of what you guys are seeing, so I do know a few of the results and some of the transfers I've tried to go for, but nothing else confirmed yet. As we went into contract negotiations with Goncalo Borges to become our first signing of this career mode, and we didn't want to make it too unrealistic in terms of the wage. I don't want anyone getting incredible wages here. We're only a championship side, and we've been so far. I think this is our 5th season back in the second tier, so we wanted to make it sustainable for us. If we didn't go up this season, I didn't want his wages to be a problem. I didn't want us to, have to move him on in the second season straight away if we hadn't gone up in the first season. And at the moment, it's not really looking likely. I think a mid-table finish at the moment is what we're projected to go for. But to try and help us make sure we can do our very best to get a high place finish. I wanted this young man, Ethan Nwaneri. Well, I believe that's how I pronounce it. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Of Arsenal, he's been really impressing in the EFL Cup so far this season, even pre-season and the back end of last season. Arsenal fans are very, very excited about this young talent. Now, I wanted to try and be ambitious and get him on as long as we could, really, but it didn't quite happen, and so we had to settle for the short term. And now this Chelsea defender, of course, we've had a good link with Arsenal, the likes of Charlie Patino recently, last season on loan at the Swans. With Chelsea, we've had quite a few of their players, the likes of Mark Geehee being a standout, Conor Gallagher as well at Swansea just a few years ago. So I thought we could maybe use that link to, take advantage of Chelsea in some way to develop one of their players and help us as well. However, they weren't interested, so we might go back in. It's a cheaper option than bringing in Tyler Bindon for now, but as you can see there, Goncalo Borges and Nwaneri were happy to join us, and we will be having them on January the 1st as Swansea City players. One of them until the end of the season, one of them permanently, which is very exciting stuff for us. Next up, though, and the penultimate game of this episode, we go away to Pride Park for Derby County now, much like Oxford, of course. I've just realised we're going to be playing all three of the newly promoted sides from League One in this episode, which is very exciting, of course. But back to Derby, of course, coming second place in League One last season to gain promotion back to the Championship after a few tricky few years, I think it's fair to say. But a delight to see such a big club like Derby back in the Championship and up home this season. They've been doing pretty well. That's where they've got majority of their points. Away from home, not been too bad either. They've started to pick it up in recent game weeks, which of course for them is brilliant news. However, in this game in FC25, the only frustration for me is Jerry Yates is on loan from us. Why is he starting? I really do wish that FIFA would sort of fix that, because the last few years of career modes, yeah, it's not realistic. Players, if they're on loan, they are not allowed to play against their parent club. So why is it being allowed here? And as this few clips come on, Jerry Yates is involved in a few moments of play. Here he is checking his new teammate out, making sure he's okay. It does seem as though every tackle that goes in these days is a yellow card in the game, which is quite frustrating. You can't just put a tactical foul in. I know that is a thing this year, and I'm not actually too sure how to do it, which just reminds me. But here's Derby's first big chance of the game, and that man, Jerry Yates. Honestly, I am considering recalling him because I'm not sure if I actually show you the stats, but I have had a look, and Jerry Yates has scored as many goals as our top scorer and as many assists on his own as our top assister. So it might be worth bringing a 28-year-old or 29-year-old now, however old Yates is, back. And that goal there that we just conceded is comical. But once again, really annoying, and I don't know whether to be angry really on that one, because it's a very silly goal. I don't think that ever happens in real life. It's a 1 in a million chance. Yes, it's still a possibility of happening, but come on. I feel like we've been absolutely robbed there against Derby. And as the game's sort of gone, we did try and, create a little bit, but when we've not been able to score many goals, it's really hard. And Derby with a solid side, of course, it's always hard to break them down for one goal, never mind two, but we were putting in the effort, and we did have a few spells. We were able to get a few shots off, but nothing incredible. And here was Jerry H driving forwards. Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you be happy if I was to recall either Jerry Yates or Mikola Kuhahedovich, or both? Because with the transfer budget not being the biggest, it might have to happen. Here is Yates to bang his second of the game, to our frustration. Once again, not only has he scored against his parent club, which wouldn't happen in real life because he won't be playing, he's celebrated as well, and I don't think that would happen as well. You know, whenever a player plays against a former club, they don't, and they score, they don't celebrate. So what's that all about, EA? Come on, add a little bit more realism. I'd love it. But Derby, we're not done, and yeah, 4-0. 4-0 back to back. Leeds beat us 4-0 at home. Derby beat us 4-0 away. When's it going to stop? When's the rut going to stop? In the first two episodes, I think we conceded, what, 2 goals? We played about 8 games within them 2 episodes. We conceded 2 goals in the championship, and we've scored 8 goals in these last 2 games alone, which is, quite frankly, not good enough. And look at our goal difference there, taking a huge hit. Look at our goals conceded, also taking a huge hit. And yeah, that's just not great. And so we're going to end the episode off here with our home game against Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth, I'm very excited for them this season. In real life, of course, they are struggling at the moment. However, they had one of the toughest starts to the championship season out of all of the clubs. So we've got to still give them a little bit more time. They have recently got their first championship win of the season, which is great news to them. And at the back end of last season, in real life, that game against Barnsley and Derby, in the live watch-alongs, the Portsmouth fans were incredible. So I'll always be thankful to Portsmouth fans for that night, both of them nights alone. But it's a club that even before that I really did like. I love Fratton Park. I'm hoping to go there on New Year's Day as well for Swansea away. Hoping tickets don't sell up too quickly for that one, so I actually get my hands on some for that one. But here, what a tackle that was from, believe it was Franco, who, by the way, what a signing he is. But of course, John Mousinho's men for Portsmouth as they go 1-0 up here. Won League One last season. Were able to make a few very good signings in the summer, including the likes of Murphy from promotion rivals, as it was last season, another side that went up with Portsmouth, Oxford United, and he scored both goals in the playoff final to get them to this level. So very quality signing there, along with the others. And we tried to get back in the game with Harry Darlin. He was going to be our only hope, but not even he could help us in this situation, as Portsmouth had a few shots as well, but going into the gloves of Vigouroux and not going into the back of the net to their frustration. And once again there, Vigouroux helping us out. So in the end to this game then, it does end Portsmouth 1, Swansea 0, and the rut continues, and we need to sort it out in the next episode. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone for watching. Honestly, really appreciate the support as always. We are still trying to hit 2K subscribers by Christmas Day, so if you want to help us out and get there and be a legend, be passionate for football, this is the place for you. And be sure to subscribe, of course, as always. And let me know in the comment section down below any players you want us to sign. And if you're enjoying the series so far, I'm trying to make it as best and as entertaining as I can. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next and very soon, guys. Take care. I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.